If you're struggling to create that resume that stands out and gets you job interviews, well, you're not alone. I went to the same struggle myself when I first immigrated here in Canada. My name is Ryan and I'm an HR professional here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And today I'm going to share with you the 10 common mistakes people make when they're creating their resume. So let's dive into it. Top 10 on our list are lengthy resumes. Recruiters have very limited time when they're going through resumes, and they go through a lot of resumes on a daily basis. So you want to make sure that you're not putting in too much information that will keep your resume lengthy. And when I say lengthy, those are 2 to 3 pages long. So if you can minimize your resumes to a single page, make it simple and impactful, then it's much easier for recruiters to go through your resume. Remember that you are competing with a recruiter's attention. The simpler and impactful you can get your resume with a single pager, the better it is. Number 9 on our list are poor format. Formatting is how your resume looks. It's the appearance, it's the aesthetic. I come across a lot of resumes that use a lot of different fonts, a lot of different colors as well with how they design their resume. So that's very distracting to a recruiter. For us, when we're going through a resume, we want something that will lead our eyes to where the substance of the resume will be. Try to stay away from font designs and colors that will be distracting to recruiters. Number 8 is not tailoring your resume. I've gone through a lot of resumes in my professional career. Right now, it's easy for me to scan quickly if a resume is well tailored for the job that an applicant is applying for. Do your research about the company that you want to work for. Add relevant skills would really highlight your experience and get you closer to that job that you're aiming for. Number 7 in our list is not quantifying your achievement. Hiring managers look for candidates that have a track record of performance. When you have proof from your previous experiences or even activities at school or volunteer, make sure that you lay it out and it's obvious in your resume, because that will show proof of your winning attitude. Number 6 in our list is including irrelevant information. I still receive a lot of resumes that has irrelevant information, and when I say irrelevant information, I'm talking about personal pictures or photos, height, their weight. Unless it's required, then you don't have to really add that. I used to do the same thing with myself before. That was just the norm where I came from, where I thought that was just how we make resumes. But knowing what I know now, I feel really embarrassed by doing so. It can also do you more harm than good because of biases, right? So let's try to make sure that we do not include irrelevant information. And by the way, you don't have to add your personal address in your resume. Your phone number or email address will do. Moving on to number 5 are grammatical errors. Sad to say that I still see a lot of spelling mistakes and grammatical error with resumes that I receive. So please make sure that before you submit the resume, just do a quick spell check. Most resume building softwares right now has that built in, so make sure that you do that. Also be careful with homonyms. These are words that sounds alike but mean totally different. Example are accept versus accept, or dessert or desert. And so just make sure to scan your resume for those. The best way to do this sometimes, I would let somebody else read my resume to get a fresh eye. Number 4 is using unprofessional email address or contact information. This might catch you a bit off guard because almost automatically we use the same email address for contact information in our resumes. And a lot of us sometimes use the same email address that we used when we were still in high school till now. If your email address is not professional, maybe it's time to change it. Also, try to avoid emails that are too personal or have nicknames. I would suggest having something very professional where you have your first name and your last name, followed by the email service providers that you have. This is usually what most corporations use in their email addresses, so why not follow the same? Down to number 3 is not having a contact information or having an outdated one. This might sound isolated, but it's actually such a common mistake. A lot of candidates still forget to put in their contact information, or worse, sometimes screeners, when they're desperate, they tend to grab the phone right away and call that candidate. So if there's no response from that candidate, they would send a follow-up email. Always check your spam email when you're trying to job hunt, because you'll never know what opportunity you miss, right? Down to number 2 is not using keyword. When hiring managers look at resumes, they tend to look at keywords that would match the job that they're looking for. So if your resume does not have that, and I see a lot of resumes not having keywords, when you look at their resumes, it's very generic. And screeners, when they look at that, they tend to sense that. So make sure that you are bespoke and you do your research about keywords that is relevant to the job that you're applying for. So if it says customer service in the job description, I would suggest using customer service as well in your resume when you're describing your previous job. Also, it's not only the hiring managers that use keywords when you're looking at resumes. Algorithms and AIs for job search engines will be looked at. If they see a lot of matching keywords from your resume to the job being posted, then you tend to rank high and you'll easily be seen. And down to number 1 on our list is lack of action words. This is probably my favorite because it's something that everybody can do, but not everybody does. So when I say action words, when you're trying to describe your resume, you have to make sure that you have action words there. Think of it like selling. You're selling yourself to potential employers, right? The way sales work is that you need to make sure that you have action words. You cannot just leave it with the content of your resume or the product that you're selling, which is yourself. You have to make sure that you have words of action to encourage the hiring manager to look at your resume differently. So what I mean about action words is, rather than mentioning as one of your responsibilities from previous work, responsible for weekly meetings, change that instead to executed weekly sales meeting to achieve sales target. Or better yet, add some numbers to quantify that achievement, right? So executed a sales meeting that exceeded target within 2 months. Executed weekly team meetings that achieved 10% over target just within 2 months. So make sure that your resume is impactful and stands out by using those keywords. So here's 3 tips that I wanted to share with you so that your resume stands out. Number 1, make sure that you have a QR code there that would link to your LinkedIn account. And if you don't have a LinkedIn account yet, probably it's about time to make one. QR codes are simple, they're fast, and it leads the recruiter towards your professional profile in a LinkedIn account. Even if they don't open your LinkedIn account and they just see a QR code, that resonates professionalism. And that's what I want to see whenever I look at resumes. Number 2, know the hiring manager's name. That's one of the simplest way to make sure that you leave an impression with the hiring manager, especially if they see their own name in your resume. Knowing the hiring manager's name actually puts you closer to getting at least noticed and hopefully get into an interview. How do you get the hiring manager's name? Just call the reception and ask who's their hiring manager, because receptionists at the end of the day are gatekeepers and they're the ones who block calls. So if they can minimize the call going towards the hiring manager by deflecting that call, then they've achieved what they're supposed to do. Number 3 is have a cover letter. If you know the hiring manager's name, put it in the cover letter and address it to him. Cover letter really adds another level of professionalism. Cover letters complements the resume and are very important, especially if it's an executive job or managerial position or any other job you feel that you want to get into. So in conclusion, writing a resume can be a struggle, but just avoid the 10 mistakes that I just mentioned and you'll be on your way to getting that dream job. So if you like this video and it added value, then don't forget to subscribe so that I can make more videos like this. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.